Hey guys, Keith from Techland, and today we're talking about our brand new gas manifold systems and all the new Duotight fittings that are coming out in our Generation 2 range. I should say this has come about because of a lot of customer requests, so thank you very much for our customer base. The reason why we're making this stuff is for really because of you. Now, I should say in the past, we had manifolds which look something like this, and these are very, very common in the market. Basically an aluminium extrusion like this, manifold with ball valves coming out, and they often or most often will have check valves integrated into these ball valves. Another option is just to use T-pieces. So we've got these little Duotight T-pieces and also stainless steel versions of the T-pieces. But if you've got a multi-keg system, it can get very quickly quite annoying to do all these hose joins and then have this big long array of T-pieces set up on flexible beer line and stuff like that. So yeah, with these aluminium manifolds, I do have a few kind of pet hates about these. Firstly, one thing is they're not easily serviceable. So all these threaded connections here, we basically use thread adhesive in there, and so does everyone else, because it's the only way to make it a really reliable connection. But that means it's very hard to undo and take apart these fittings. So if you have a problem with, let's say, one of the check valves or something, which is not uncommon, I'll be honest with you, especially with a lot of liquids and stuff like that going around, if liquid ends up going into the check valve, it can absolutely destroy the check valve and really needs to be taken apart and cleaned. But obviously, with it all glued together, that's basically impossible. The other thing is, these types of manifolds weren't really super compact. So as you can see, this one, for instance, has an aluminium extrusion like that, and the gas outlets sit at a 45-degree off the wall. So if you're screwing this to the wall, they use up a bit more space, and obviously in a fridge space, you're trying to ram that thing with as many kegs as possible. So you want your manifold to be sitting flat against the wall ideally and use up as little space as possible. The other thing is screws are not exactly an ideal mounting connection type, because inside a fridge, we see it quite a bit. People screw these into their keysers or kegerators or whatever, and then they start puncturing, you know, things like gas lines or electrical cables inside the walls of their fridge. And it's very, very hard to know exactly where they are. So we've got another solution with that on these new Duotight fittings, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But last of all, yeah, these didn't have Duotight connections on them as they came out of the box. So we would have either these barbed ones, we have to push the hose in, then use a hose clamp. Another little annoyance. Obviously, a lot of people love the Duotight fittings and how easy and reliable they are. The other thing was, if you got the ones with the MFL thread, then every single output you'd have to screw on the Duotight fitting to be able to push the line in as well. So that's been kind of a little bit annoying. So we've basically upgraded all of these things and fixed all those issues with these new types of Duotight manifolds that we've got available. Now, before we go too much further, I also want to say we've done major upgrades to the Duotight fittings in general, which is a change happening across the board, and we're switching everything over to these new Gen 2 fittings. So what that means is we're actually got new polyketone resin being used in all of these new fittings here. And the polyketone has better chemical resistance. Previously, we used acetyl, and that's currently what John Guest used, and maybe some other manufacturers like DM Fit. However, we've found the polyketone to be really a much better plastic because of its durability, high chemical resistance, and now they've also brought out a new UV grade. So you can even sit these out in the sun. I've been using some for garden plumbing, and they work really well for that application. The other thing in the Gen 2 range is, because of the polyketone upgrade and some of the design aspects of how we assemble these, they all have a pressure rating of over 20 bar. So that's 300 PSI. So that's absolutely massive. Generally, it's even higher if you go to the smaller diameter 1/4 inch or 6.35 millimeter ones. The other thing about the polyketone is it holds really high temperatures. So you can basically have boiling water and stuff like that around these, and it's no problem whatsoever. And lastly, one major aspect we've upgraded is on these Gen 2 fittings, we now use a combination of O-rings in there. So previously we would use 2 different O-rings of the same type. What we've done is we now use an EPDM and also a silicone O-ring. So what that means is, even if you've got a situation where a silicone O-ring is not super ideal, let's say you've got a highly oxygen sensitive beverage like beer, you don't want oxygen to get in there, then the EPDM has superior oxygen barrier properties. Although if you get situations where you're in freezing cold temperatures, let's say you put one of these fittings in a really cold fridge or freezer, you can get a very small amount of hardening of the EPDM O-ring. And that's where the silicone has a substantial benefit. So for instance, if you got some vibration or you bend the hose, because the O-ring's so hard, it takes a while for that to reseal around the outsides of the beer line. However, with silicone, it is basically very stable across a wide range of temperatures. So while that O-ring of the EPDM one is changing shape, the silicone one will seal instantly. So look, the Gen 2 fittings I'll talk about in another video. Basically, the other thing to remember though is we've also got color-coded collets. So these are all 8mm tubing to go in here. And basically you can see the 8mm all have the black collet here. But if you go down to 1/4 inch, it's green. And if you go to the 3/8, it's blue. So very visually identifiable which tube you have to push into the fitting to get the best seal. So with these manifolds, at the time of this video, we've got a 2 output, 4 output, and a 6 output. With that said, if you needed more or something like that, you can also use our rigid joiners. So these joiners are basically a rigid bit of tube, kind of like EVABarrier as well. I mean, you can use like an offcut of EVABarrier to do this as well, but you can join multiple of these together just by using the rigid tube like that. And let's say I wanted to make a really big manifold, I could essentially make this infinitely large just by using more and more of those joiners together. Now, of course, if you use the offcut of tube, it's just not quite as straight, but if you need to go around a corner or something like that, then just using some EVABarrier 8mm 5/16 is the way to go. Now, traditionally, most people, when they're using this, they'll probably use one of our plugs in one end and just have the gas feed in this side and come out this way. If you guys wanted to, for instance, use the check valve, then just use it as it is because they already have check valves included. However, if you need to take apart this device to clean it or get to the check valve, for instance, what you can do is basically use just like a flathead screwdriver, something like that, and just lever out these clips in here, like so. And there's one clip on the front and there's another clip on the back. And you'll see the entire ball valve is fairly easy to remove. So there's two good things about this. Firstly, cleaning is really easy. So you can basically wash this whole thing out, fairly easily. And the other thing is you could swap out these fittings if you really needed to, or you could take the check valves out. So for instance, let's say there's a reason why you wanted to have no check valves in these. Like some people, for instance, don't like when they accidentally turn their regulator pressure up too high and then turn it back down and pull the PRV on the regulator, it doesn't release all the pressure in the kegs. Now there's pros and cons to that, but if you're a newbie, you might find that pretty confusing. Well, if you find that confusing, you can just remove this check valve just by simply using a screwdriver like that and popping out the check valve. So this check valve is a replaceable and cleanable part just like that, and it just comes straight out. So now if I put this back in there, this one here will have no check valve attached. So gas will flow in both directions through this valve here. Now, the other thing is it also is kind of handy to remove because sometimes you want to change the orientation. So you might be, for instance, in a situation where this fits better that way and has the ball valve. That means you don't have it sticking out the front. So makes it slightly lower profile if that was a concern for you. Or let's say these mountings, if you have a look at these mounting holes here, this side fits flat against the bench, but there could be some instances, and this side has is countersunk from this direction. So it means that you can mount on this side or this side depending on your particular mounting arrangement, and that way just rotate the ball valve to the opposite 180 degree if that's what suits your installation better. So all of these Duotight fittings have the ability to attach them to a wall of a fridge or something like that using conventional screws if that's what you want to do. But as I was saying before, if you do that through one of these holes, the chance of you hitting a refrigeration line is definitely there. So what we'd recommend for those types of customers is really to use our new clips. So this is our Generation 2 clip, and it works with all of the Generation 2 Duotight fittings. So you can clip it just onto the side here. And what we've got is an adhesive backing. So you just peel off this backing here, and then what I can do is stick that onto the side of a kegerator or something like that to make the manifold. It's a pretty simple process, but they're super, super sticky. I can't express that enough. It's important you get these in the right spot, because if you try to tear them off and put them in a new position, it's really, really difficult. What I would recommend is getting some isopropyl alcohol, spray down the surface that you want to attach it to. Now, this will make a massive difference also to the amount of adhesion you'll get. Just removing a little bit of those surface oils with the isopropyl alcohol makes a huge difference. And then what I can do is attach these clips like this, and then basically make sure that's in about the right spot. So you can just eyeball it like so. And then what I can do is then peel the backing off when I'm ready to place it on the fridge. So in this instance, I'm going to pull off these bits of protective film here. And when that's all aligned and nice and straight, I'm going to place this on the side of the kegerator like this. So with those clips installed like that, there's still the ability to rotate the manifold like this. Now that can be a positive or a negative, but if that's an issue for you, I would recommend just getting a third adhesive clip and putting it in this orientation. So clip it on like that, and then adhesive stick that to the surface that you're mounting it to. And that way it's fixed in every single orientation. Now, one of the favorite ways for me to set this up is not actually to have my gas line rigidly connected to the end of the manifold like this, but what I personally prefer to do is actually have like a ball lock disconnect on the end like that, so I can quick disconnect my gas cylinder and take it away to go get refilled or use it for a different purpose. If you guys want to do that, then I would recommend getting this little fitting here. This is one of our new male to female reducers. I find these kind of handy because they're really compact, and unlike our other reducers where you would need a short bit of either beer line or rigid tubing or something like that to basically go between each reducer, this one just goes straight into that male fitting. So in this instance, what I can do is plug that into this output here. And then if I wanted to use, let's say, a ball lock post, the carbonation cap's a really cheap and effective way to do that. So clip that on the end, and then I can easily just connect and disconnect my gas from my CO2 cylinder like so. So I can basically plug it in like that. And if I ever need to take it away, I just disconnect like that. So it's a really easy, quick disconnect option if you need to do that. Now, lastly, I wanted to show you, if you didn't like the fact that these pull out like that, and let's say you wanted a more permanent connection, we've actually got a couple small little holes here and here. Then what you can do is just get a zip tie like this and push it through these little loops, and this will make a more permanent connection once I secure this through here like that. Do up the zip tie. And once I've got that connected, I can just use a small pair of scissors to cut off the excess. And now there's no chance of that accidentally pulling out of place. That's a really secure connection, and I can't incidentally knock the manifold and then this clip to come undone. Well, thanks for that, guys, and thanks for all your comments and requests. That's how these types of things get manufactured. If you guys have any other good ideas, put them in the comments below, or join our Facebook Homebrew community group and comment there, where a lot of ideas are shared amongst other guys just like yourself, sharing tips and tricks on how to use all the gear. We'd also really appreciate it if you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Bottom right-hand corner, hit subscribe now, and then also tick notifications so you get notified when new product videos like this land. Anyway, thanks for that. See you guys next time. Bye.